A Florida teen arrested.
You have to be aware that something out of control can happen like that.
After a horrific crime outside a skating rink. Taking a deep dive.
They're actually, quite peaceful creatures.
With a shark in Jupiter. America's most well-known HBCU making it into March Madness.
That we can play with the best, you know what I'm saying?
A preview into Howard University playing to make the Final 64. Coverage from our DC Bureau. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Laura Palfrey. Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
A teenage suspect is under arrest here in Florida. A 15-year-old boy was charged with second-degree murder after he's accused of stabbing two teenage girls outside of a skate center on Friday night, leaving them in critical condition.
One of the victims, 16-year-old Kennedy Williams, died shortly after being hospitalized. The identity of the suspect remains anonymous due to his age. According to authorities, the area saw incidents of violence before the stabbing took place.
Be aware that something out of control can happen like this.
New security measures were implemented at the skate center just one day after the deadly incident as visitors were checked in at the door on Saturday morning.
The spring break season continues in South Florida this morning, but last week was a big test for Miami Beach spring breakup strategy. Kaplin's Anthony Millian reports from South Beach.
It's spring break here in South Florida, and usually with that brings upon some chaos. However, local government is pumping the brakes on the parties as they've introduced some new restrictions to prevent people from coming down to the 305 and wreaking havoc. South Florida usually is packed to the brim this month with spring breakers coming in from all across the world to party. But this year, with heavy restrictions such as increased police presence and high parking fares, it's much calmer. And some visitors are surprised to see that.
But I didn't see a lot of people. I was really surprised because when I Googled cities to party, Miami was the first city to pop up, and then I was just really confused that it's not a lot going on, I guess.
Miami is still Miami, so people are still gonna come and have fun and enjoy what the iconic city has to offer. But residents are happy, as now the streets are cleaner and the chaos seems to be gone.
There's not really people puking all over the place and all sorts of stuff, property damage and everything. I can get by. I can actually not have to worry about traffic. It's great.
The restrictions were introduced last year after a huge brawl near Ocean Drive left plenty injured. But now, Miami seems to be back to the city that both its residents and visitors love to see. The new restrictions have seemed to satisfy both sides, as people still get to enjoy Miami's iconic nightlife and beaches, but the government gets to keep the streets clean, keep people safe, and keep the chaos at a minimum. With Caplin News, I'm Anthony Millian.
Former Trump advisor Peter Navarro is expected to go into custody this afternoon in Miami. This follows the Supreme Court's rejection of Navarro's claims to executive privilege, stating that even if it was granted, it wouldn't excuse his behavior. He was sentenced in September to serve 4 months behind bars for contempt of Congress. He's expected to check into federal prison by 2 p.m. today. This morning, the
CDC issued a warning about a global rise in measles cases. The health alert comes as the spring and summer travel season begins. The CDC is urging doctors to promote vaccinations, especially for children traveling internationally. So far this year, the U.S. has reported 58 cases in 17 jurisdictions, including states such as Arizona, Florida, California, and Pennsylvania.
It's rare for an HBCU to make it to the NCAA basketball tournament, but DC's Howard University is making history and heading to the tournament for the second year in a row.
It's one of two HBCUs in the field of 68, the other Grambling State. Caplin News DC reporter Pablo Hernandez is live at Howard University with reactions from students.
The team is in Ohio as they face off against Wagner in their first round. The winner takes on #1 seed UNC. The Howard players are proud to be the only DC team in the tournament. HBCU programs don't have the best history in the tournament with a combined record of 4 wins and 54 losses, but that does not stop the Bison fans from believing they could go far. Howard football HBCU All-American Kenny Gallup talks about the importance in Howard qualifying for the tournament.
It proved that we can play with the best, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the biggest thing for me, man. Like I say, I feel like there's a lot of talented guys in HBCUs, you know, especially at Howard, that can play at a higher level. So, you know, just showing that we can play with the best in the country, you know, it's a great feeling.
Anything is possible on any given night, especially in a one-game setting. Student Malik Imami has high hopes for Howard to get it done in the tournament.
Man, I hope they take it all the way, you know what I'm saying? It's a big achievement, especially for HBCU, putting it on the map, most definitely, and I wish them the best for sure. I don't count them out. It's possible. Anything's possible for sure.
Howard are the favorites for tonight's game, and if they win, they travel to Charlotte to face off against UNC in the round of 64 on Thursday. Reporting from Washington, D.C., for Caplin News, this is Pablo Hernandez.
Crossing the street make it easier in Las Vegas. The city plans to let artificial intelligence control certain crosswalks after U.S. Representative Dina Titus secured $1.4 million from President Joe Biden's infrastructure bill. AI will detect both vehicular and pedestrian traffic to determine how much time is needed to cross the street. The $1 million project will take place in the city's downtown Fremont Street.
A man in Jupiter goes on a swim with sharks and makes a career out of it. Recently, he shared his underwater role with Caplin's Daniela Zuleta.
Florida is known as the shark bite capital of the world, but there is one man in Jupiter that is trying to change that perception. Tanner Mansell is a captain and an underwater photographer. Mansell started his passion with diving ever since he was 7 years old. Now he dedicates his life to running charters on free diving with sharks.
Sharks aren't what Hollywood and, you know, the media makes them out to be. They're actually, you know, quite peaceful creatures if you swim with them under the right conditions. Now, you know, all over the world, behavior is going to change slightly from location to location and species to species, but for the most part, sharks are just swimming around and they don't look at us as another food source or anything like that. They're going to look at us as another potential predator in the water. They just don't really know what we are. So, you know, it's possible to coexist with them and have fun, safe dives.
You know, a lot of people are afraid. And being in the water with the sharks today, it really showed you that you don't have to be afraid of them. You have to respect them, but you don't have to be afraid of them. I would 1,000% do this again. This was so much fun.
This extreme sport has been growing in popularity for over 70 years now. Worldwide, almost 600,000 people participate in shark diving each year. In Jupiter, for Caplin News, I'm Daniela Zuleta.
Today, marriage rates are making a comeback from the fall they faced during the early pandemic. New data released from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that marriage rates were plummeting about 4 years ago, lowering the rate to 5.1. Since then, the rate has jumped to 6.2 per 1,000 people beginning in 2022, making a steady increase.
The Heat try to pull off another win with the team's star player.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
And coming in today was just about getting the job done and taking control of the series so we can get out of here on a good note.
The FIU baseball team makes a statement ahead of today's big game against the Canes. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
A crosstown clash. The FIU Panthers are riding a 2-game winning streak into a game against the Canes. The Panthers head to Coral Gables for a non-conference game today, and it follows a big series against the team CUSA rivals Middle Tennessee.
Caplin News reporter Stan Bobrin was on campus covering the series.
I am here at the FIU ballpark where the Panthers take on Middle Tennessee in Game 3 of the CUSA Conference. Game 1 resulted in a loss for the Panthers, but the Panthers came back swinging in Game 2. Now, fresh off of a victory, the Panthers are seeking to take the series. Neither team was able to score during the third inning, and a run was scored in the second inning for the visiting team, Middle Tennessee. It was scoreless in the first inning, but now the Panthers are seeking to secure a pitchless inning for the fourth.
We were at a split series for Sunday, and coming in today was just about getting the job done and taking control of the series so we can get out of here on a good note.
I mean, definitely, last year we played Middle 10. We had we were hitting the ball well, and we didn't exactly reward it. I believe we got swept, but this year we try to maintain a mentality and just trust the process, like Alex was saying earlier, and just finding ways to win games. And today, the first couple innings were rough, but we found a way to put a couple really good innings together, get some really good swings off, and end up 10 running them and taking the series.
This is my first year here at FIU. I've been playing baseball since I was 2 years old, whole life. Last year I was at Miami-Dade, and the year before that I was at Yavapai College out in Arizona. This is my first Division I, and I'm really excited to be here and having a fun time here.
So in their first CUSA conference, the Panthers take Game 3, 16-6, sending Middle Tennessee home packing. After a stunning loss in Game 1 and a major comeback in Game 2, the Panthers take the series. The next game will be against the University of Miami. That game is expected to be sold out here at the stadium. With that, I'm Stan Bobrin, Caplin News.
The Miami Heat fall to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference after a loss to the Philadelphia 76ers last night. Trailing by 14 while entering the fourth, the Heat staged a fierce comeback, tying the game at 85 with Caleb Martin dunk. However, Buddy Hield's clutch third-pointer and Lowry's shot helped the Sixers avoid a collapse. The final score was Heat's 91, Philadelphia 98. The Heat will go to Ohio to play the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow at 7 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
And discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Laura Palfrey.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.